Hey, what's up, guys? So we'll talk about a couple little licks, or like a kind of little principle that I picked up a while back trying to do some Doc Watson type stuff. So one thing he does is, especially out of the C position here, is that he does this thing where he bounces off of the open E off of the flat E. So it's kind of going from the minor third to the major third, but not to get too theory oriented or whatever, but he's using it kind of to buy time, and it sounds cool. It's very guitaristic. So he does this, that thing right there. She's helping. So I'm going to do maybe like 3 specific licks off of that, and then talk about it a little bit, or give a little demonstration. So the first one is this, and we'll come back and do a little bit of a step by step in a second. But so that's number 1. Number 2. And then number 3. Not the cleanest, but you get the idea. So the first one is you're going from this 3rd fret to the 5th fret on your first string here, the G to the A, and every time you're hitting the E string in between it. So it's the 3rd fret, then the 5th fret. Then you go to this 4th fret on the 2nd string to the open E. Then down to the C note, which is your 1st fret. So it's the second one, very similar, except you can either pick this or do a hammer-on pull-off. Probably stylistically it's probably picked, but you can do whatever works at the time. So you've got this, was that 3 to 5, and back off. The same thing we did the first time with the E flat to the E note, then down to the C. Then you're going to take and do a 2nd fret to open string on the 3rd string, the G string, and then back up to that C on the 2nd string. We're going to talk about that in a second too. Just to make a point. See, that's all that's going on right there. And the last one, so we're going to start on this D note, the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and slide into that. And then we're going to kind of rotate it, rock it back and forth between that and the open string, the open E. Then hit it again and pull back down to that spot. And then finish it off about like we did the other one. Let's see if I can do it a little bit cleaner. Okay, so hopefully all of those made sense. Now the thing is, this is not an exact science in the sense of like I'm not trying to teach anything or show anything that's like note for note this goes here. This is an idea and a principle that he just used a lot. For him it was pretty intuitive too. He would just rip them out at any given point when he felt like it. So whatever makes sense to work timing wise, that's what you need to add to wherever you start it, wherever you finish it. Just typically you want to end it on that C note, that root note, but a lot of times this 2nd fret to open string on the G to the A, use that to kind of help fill up time for you if you need to when you get to the end. And that can be a 2 open to that, or a open to 2. It doesn't, whatever makes sense. It has to musically make sense. So between all of this, all these little spots in here, you can actually do a whole lot of damage. I mean, in this, even if you're not a bluegrass person or a country person, this is very poignant. Even if you're playing like classic rock and stuff, it's just you got to find the right time and the right tasteful spot to put it in. But so I'm going to take and just kind of fiddle around here just over a C chord for a second. you get the idea. I mean, half the time that the rhythm and the feel is more important than the actual notes. But you see, I didn't go anywhere outside of that little box we were kind of just talking about. And if you're familiar with a tune by him called Black Mountain Rag, it's not by him, it's an old fiddle tune, but he, kind of had a really famous version of it. You could literally play, and that's maybe the first place I actually picked this up, was because that's how he plays Black Mountain Rag. That's kind of the crux of it right there. But you could literally play a break over the entire song just by using these spots. It wouldn't be the most creative thing in the world, but you could do it. In fact, let's kind of try that for a second. See what happens here. Yeah, so hopefully that makes some sense and didn't go too fast for you. All of that is just little permutations of the... Just understanding these little spots on a C chord. Now, if you want to get fancy, you can start trying to modulate that up to D and E and different things. It's actually very, very powerful, but for the moment, just stick it, learn it in C, and then honestly, I mean, just getting this under your fingers could take forever if you're not used to it, but it's very, very worthwhile. Thanks, guys. Really quick addendum here. I think when I was doing this, and I was doing the demonstration of, I think the second lick, that one, I honestly wasn't sure when I first did it at the beginning whether I did it as a slide back down or I did it as an open thing. So for beginning purposes, or the first time you're learning it, I would do it purely as a movement, not as a slide. So this should actually maybe be the way to do it. Don't slide, I would just go straight to it right now. Then later maybe you can start sliding in and everything. But anyway, I didn't want my kind of like little flub to be something that confuse somebody down the road. So thanks again.